Welcome to Inside the Owls Burrow, presented by Baptist Health, alongside the Hagerty family head football coach Tom Herman. I'm Frank Forte. Bye week, first of two last week for the Owls. You did practice up until Thursday. What was the focus of practice in the bye week?
It was really about getting back to the basics. We introduced North Texas a little bit, spent about 15, 20 minutes each day kind of introducing them, especially they're a little bit unique, certainly on defense. So wanted a quick intro, but it was much more about simplicity, getting back to, now that we've been through 5 weeks together, we know a lot more about our players, about what we can do, what we do well, what we don't do well. And so now it was a refocusing, and let's get really, really good at the things that now we know are strengths of ours. Let's continue to develop those.
Coach Herman's interview this week brought to you by Phil Smith Kia, home of the Maximus deal. That was sort of my next question. Through 5 games, what exactly have you learned? And are there still things that you're finding out about this group?
Yeah, one, I think we got a bunch of guys that care, almost to a fault. I've learned that we need to continue to make it stressful for them at practice to build that ability to fight through hard things. And North Texas is a really good team, and they're going to come in and they're going to pose some problems for us. And right now it's about when adversity hits, but we're going to make mistakes, and we need to be able to respond to plays that are made by your opponent and mistakes that are made by yourself, because those are all things that happen throughout the course of the game. So that week was all about just keeping our guys under constant stress so that the Saturdays are easy.
Of course, we saw in the last game against Wagner, Cam Fancher hurt his hand. You mentioned in last week's show that he seemed fine, and he did practice. He was back throwing from scrimmage on Wednesday, so he's good to go.
He hasn't had any limitations really since the Tuesday after the Wagner game. So yeah, he's been ready to rock.
The plan was in Wagner to play both quarterbacks, both Cam and Kaysen Wiseman, and Kaysen wound up with the bulk of the work because that injury. Are we possibly going to see 2 quarterbacks in this game?
I don't know. Cam's had a great 2 weeks, had a great first quarter. We kind of accomplished what we wanted to accomplish in terms of Kaysen learning the hard way in that second quarter. Welcome to college football, regardless of your opponent. And then settled in and had himself a great second half. So I don't anticipate it, but it's also something that I think we're good if we have to now. I think we all kind of see what we have in Kaysen, but also have been impressed with Cam, and not just the first quarter of Wagner, but these last couple weeks of practice.
2 back sets a lot this year. We've seen a lot of Zuberi Mobley and C.J. Campbell in the game at the same time. What does that enable you to do offensively?
Get 2 of our best players on offense on the field at the same time. It's really, that's most of it. They're anytime one of them's on the sideline and somebody else is out there, this is no offense to the rest of the guys on offense, but they're one of our 11 best players, and both of them. We need to get them on the field at the same time, but we also need to be cognizant of the toll it takes on their body. But it allows us to do some unique things in the run game, and then certainly in the throw game, play action game, both of them have the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield too.
North Texas, the Mean Green come in, 7 o'clock kickoff at FAU Stadium on Saturday. They're 4-1, 1-0 in league play. Teams last met in 2022 with North Texas winning at home. Their quarterback, Chandler Morris, spent the last 3 seasons at TCU, and as a kid, I guess you're a little bit familiar with. You were coached in Texas at the time he was in high school. He's having a good year, 16 touchdowns, 6 picks.
Yeah, I was surprised that he's still playing, to be honest with you, but was a tremendous player in high school. His dad, obviously, Chad Morris, was head coach at SMU, head coach at Arkansas. So him and I go way back from his coordinator days at Clemson. So he's got a coach's, he's a coach's kid, Chandler is. So, anytime you get those guys at quarterback, they grow up around the game, they understand it. The game is not too fast for them. And so he's having, like you said, a really good year through 5 games. He's averaging over 3 touchdowns a game throwing. But they throw the ball a lot too, and that's about an interception and then some a game as well. So they're going to give us some opportunities, but we've got to make him uncomfortable. I've coached against and I've coached in the same meeting room with some of the best quarterbacks of all time, and they don't do well. They can't. One, none of them can throw it from their back, right. And two, none of them do well or as well as they could when there's pressure around them. So we've got to pressure him. He's kind of the gas that makes that engine go, as most good quarterbacks are. But they've got 3 wideouts that at different times have had 100-yard games. So he spreads the ball around, and they're going to be a challenge on offense.
Defensively, you go back to that 2022 game. Ridge Tejada, he wears number 5 now, but he had 2 picks against Florida Atlantic last time. One of the best cover corners in the league, but they have a very unique defense too. Really,
really unique. Coordinator has his roots at Iowa State, and they're kind of 6 DB, 5 DB look that they use. We call it a joker. I don't know what they use in their phraseology, but it is unique because they're going to overload the run in terms of number count, but they're also, because of a 3-man front and some of the unique things they do from a coverage standpoint, a lot of times you're going to see them drop 8 when you get back to pass. So to be honest with you, it's a bit of a rule breaker, a little bit like offense, or for offense, like playing against triple option is for our defensive players. So glad we had the bye week to kind of introduce it and spend some time getting to know that defense, because it's going to pose a challenge mentally, just the way they go about how they fit the run and drop in the pass.
Speaking of defense, the Owl defense, 10 takeaways through 5 games, pretty good number. Is takeaways absolutely essential to try and win this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of our plan to win the turnover battle. We talk about the double positive all the time in professional football, in college football, over the last 5-year span, 10-year span, 20-year span. If you win the turnover margin and the explosive play margin in the same game, you're going to win that game 98% of the time.
It is that time for Tom Herman's Pop Culture Pop Quiz. We're going to do movies this week. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it when I tell you to name as many Tommy Lee Jones movies as you can in 30 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Fugitive, Men in Black 1, Men in Black 2, Men in Black 3. Tommy Lee Jones, come on. I'm lost now. Give me some. It's called U.S. Marshals.
Yeah, there you go. How about Coal Miner's Daughter?
Oh, yeah. With Sissy Spacek.
Yes, yeah. Correct. Natural Born Killer.
Oh, that's the...
And Cobb, where he played Ty Cobb.
Some obscure roles for a really famous guy.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Well, let's not be obscure on Saturday. Let's come out firing. Coach,
thanks, Frank.
Talk to you next week. Coming up, Owl safety Phillip Dunnam has an uncle who is a South Florida sports icon. Their personal story in Football in Paradise when Inside the Owls Burrow returns.
What does it mean to feel welcome? To not only be cared for, but to be cared about, to trust. At Baptist Health, this is the warmer side of care. So welcome to being treated with a human touch, where your best interest is our best interest. Here, we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts close to home. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
If you're tired of the same old boring cars, at Phil Smith Kia, we've got a car for every personality. Need a compact car to weave through traffic like a ninja? We've got it. Want an EV9 that's more spacious than your grandma's attic? We've got it. We'll work with you to find a deal that won't leave your wallet feeling like it's been on a roller coaster ride. Phil Smith Kia, home of the Maximus deal. Right, Maximus?
Right.
Phil Smith Kia, right here in Lighthouse Point.
Do you need a personal injury lawyer?
No recovery, no fees. No recovery, no fees.
You need a
My current role at the Heat is Senior Vice President of Brand and Chief Creative Officer. In my role, I oversee all of the creative function, including design, branding, copywriting, including uniforms and merchandise. I think what I love most about the MBA Sport program was the combination of real hands-on practical curriculum, solving today's business problems, having high-level discussions around what was happening in the world of sports business.
Inside the Owls Burrow is brought to you by Baptist Health, official sports medicine provider of Florida Atlantic Athletics. By Florida Atlantic's MBA in Sport Management program, number 10 in the world. By Corona Extra, find the fine life, La Vida Más Fina. And by Phil Smith Kia, home of the Maximus deal. You're watching Inside the Owls Burrow, presented by Baptist Health. Owl safety Phillip Dunnam has a very famous uncle, Miami Heat legend and three-time NBA champion Udonis Haslem. He played 20 NBA seasons, all with the Miami Heat, and remains a part of the organization. Here is Udonis and Phillip's personal story in Football in Paradise.
Fortunate to be in the situations, fortunate to have those opportunities presented to me, but also ready. Stay ready so I didn't have to get ready. I worked tremendously hard. So I was very fortunate to have the opportunities presented to me, but I earned them, I deserved them, and I made the best with these opportunities because I was ready for those opportunities.
You're the all-time leading rebounder in Heat history. You had your number retired last year. Seeing that jersey go up into the rafters had to be just an incredible feeling.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. The bittersweet part about it is that I started this journey with my mother, my stepmother, and my father. And as I watched that jersey go up in the rafters, neither one of them were here to be a part of that journey. But I know they were watching. And that 20 years, that was for them. The collaboration they made to get me where I needed to be the best version I could on and off the basketball court, it took a village. That was for them. So it was a celebration for them as well.
A lot of people from the outside looking in think it's a bad thing to have somebody that's been in the league or a family member that's been to the NFL, whatever the case may be, because some young kids don't have that want to, they don't have that mindset to go get it. But really, it benefits you, how he is as a father, a husband, a team player, a captain. Just looking at him be that for his guys and his team and for his family. I want to be that too, and maybe even better. So I take note of everything he does.
How much have you been able to follow Phillip's career?
I've always followed Phillip's career. I have to give credit where credit's due. I have another cousin, E.J. Biggers, who played in the NFL as well, who's been very, very hands-on with Phillip. I have to give credit where credit's due to his stepfather, Emmanuel Beard, who's been very, very hands-on with Phillip. And, I've just been an overseer. I've been able to just tap in with him every now and then, pull his coattail if I need to. When you teeter-totter the line of a teenager and making good and bad decisions, I'm the guy you call when the bad decisions are made sometimes. But it's all because we understand how gifted Phillip is.
I love this, Frank. I love this, bro. Shotgun snap, third and goal from the 5. Quick throw left, intercepted! Down the near sideline, 20 to the 30. Foot race 40, cutting left midfield, and finally falling at the 41-yard line. Phillip Dunnam, the Indiana transfer, makes an immediate impact.
He's more naturally talented than all of us, and we all see that in Phillip. So, it's been a collaboration, it's been a village.
Is the family happy to have him back in Florida after he spent his first 2 seasons in Indiana?
Extremely happy. We're extremely happy. Obviously you want the best for Phillip, wherever that is, but to be able to have him back home, to be able to reach out and touch him, to be able to go to his games, I think that's big for my sister. I think that's big for Manny. I think that's big for Ariel. I think that's big for Essence, his little sisters. And, just the people that have invested in him and sacrificed for him. This is their reward, be able to see him play on Saturdays.
Was he a bit of a role model for you?
Yes, sir, he definitely is. Because his work ethic, his want to, his drive. Why not me? I want to be better. And I know he wants me to be better too. But just seeing him do it for 20 plus years, man, with one organization, you can't find too many guys who have done the same thing. So I kind of want to follow in his footsteps and find an organization that fits me, that I could call home and I could be there for 20 plus years and maybe come back and teach the young guys a little something too. But that's a great experience, and that's something I want to do too.
Now, because of him, did you really enjoy basketball? You're a football guy, but did you enjoy basketball?
Really, yes, it really is because of him. Going to the Heat games, going up to the court, just experiencing it, shooting hoops. You know, I fell in love with basketball, but I never wanted to take that route. I love the grass. I love football, man. It's just different. It's a different physicality for me.
He admires you not only for your accomplishments as an athlete, but more so the example you set as a husband and a father, and he wants to be that too. How does that make you feel? How does that hit you?
I'll tell you something funny. I admire Phillip. You know, I admire Phillip. You know, when you talk about, you know, his dad, I think if I'm not mistaken, got locked up when Phillip was 2 years old. It didn't come out till Phillip was 17. So his dad did 15 years. And then when he came out when he was 17, he ended up going back to jail when Phillip was 19. So I admire Phillip because we understand the challenges of a young man, you know, in South Florida, and there's temptation everywhere. And I told Phillip, you know, one bad decision, one thing can change everything. So I admire Phillip for staying on the right path and not making those bad decisions, continuing to focus on the things that he can control, and really staying out of trouble. I appreciate Phillip for admiring me. You know, I've definitely tried to set a good example, but I also admire him as well for the things that he's been able to do under his circumstances.
What's the one thing either that he told you or that you've observed that, be it on the field of play or off the field, that you really carry with you?
1 year can change your whole life. I mean, if you just lock into the task at hand, eliminate the distractions, and do what you gotta do, and just lock into that task, your life could possibly change. So every day I like to keep that chip on my shoulder and come in with that mindset. In order for me to have to do so, I gotta lock into that task at hand. You know, drills, games, whatever the case may be, meetings with Coach Herman, you know, I gotta lock in because this might be the year for me. Who knows? Hopefully it is though.
Coming up next, linebacker Jackson Ambush sits down with us for this week's edition of Pads Off. That's straight ahead on Inside the Owls Burrow. Welcome back to Inside the Owls Burrow, presented by Baptist Health. In his second season at Florida Atlantic, linebacker Jackson Ambush is a team captain and emotional leader of the defense. Let's get to know him a little better in this week's Pads Off. Pads Off is brought to you by Sage Dental. We want to love your smile. With us this week on Pads Off, linebacker Jackson Ambush from Newmarket, Maryland. Now, growing up, did you have a favorite NFL player or team?
Yeah, I did. So it was Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah.
Shocking being from Maryland.
Yeah, right. Most definitely.
Let's get to know Jackson away from the field. What is the wildest or most unnecessary purchase you've ever made?
I wouldn't say it was a purchase, but wildest thing that I spent money on is swimming with sharks without a cage.
You've done that?
Yes. In Jupiter.
Nice.
Yeah, that was wild.
Scary?
Yes, very much. Didn't know I couldn't float, so that was a struggle.
Okay. You can keep only one app on your phone. Which one do you keep?
YouTube. Yeah, because I feel like you can build anything and it teaches you anything.
What unconventional animal do you wish you had as a pet?
Oh, an orca. I love them. Yeah, Free Willy growing up, that was my favorite movie, so I'd definitely say an orca.
You would have a whale.
Yes, but in the wild, not in captivity. In the wild, somehow I just like Free Willy.
What did you do as a teenager that makes you cringe now?
I would definitely have to say Snapchat, just keeping Snapchat streaks or something. Yeah.
What is your most prized possession?
It would probably be my truck or my fishing rods.
You like to fish?
Yeah, love to fish.
Canals or saltwater?
Freshwater here and there, but saltwater, I do it with JJ all the time, so I'm digging saltwater.
With Gerald's?
Yeah, love it.
What's the biggest fish you've ever caught?
Drum, actually with him. I caught probably a 50-pound drum and then like a 35-inch snook with him too.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
All right, which teammate would make the best reality show contestant and what type of show would it be?
I'm gonna have to go with Quez.
Questley?
Yeah, and probably like Are You the One? Or one of those shows. Yeah.
You could go back in time and live in a decade in the previous century. Would you go to the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, and why?
Yeah, I go back to the 90s, right before cell phones hit. See what like living back then in my 20s would be like.
What guilty pleasure TV show do you watch? In other words, a show you're kind of reluctant to tell your teammates you watch.
Oh, I can't do that. So my girlfriend got me into this show called Bridgerton. It's on Netflix. Yeah, that's the one I'm into right now. That's my guilty show right now.
If you had unlimited funds to build your dream house, what would that house look like?
A house off of A1A with a probably $8 million house, and then have a boathouse right across the street with a yacht right there.
What was your favorite cartoon character when you were a kid?
Probably Phineas and Ferb.
What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookies and cream.
Oh, you didn't hesitate.
Every time, yep.
Jackson, thanks for taking the pads off and being with us.
Appreciate it.
Coming up, a closer look at one of our great partners, Sage Dental. That's coming your way next when Inside the Owls Burrow returns.
To win at this game, you have to put in the work, know the game plan, and execute. At Duffy's, our game is always on.
At Sage Dental, you'll experience a modern, family-friendly approach to dentistry. From pediatric dentistry and orthodontics to cleanings and oral surgery, we've got the latest technology to provide your family the best dental care all in one place. And for a limited time, get a free new patient exam and x-rays, plus a free ProClean Sonic toothbrush at your first hygiene visit. Book your appointment today at mysagedental.com. Sage Dental. Open up and say awesome.
La cerveza más fina. To truly embrace the fine life, you must learn to let go. Only then will you find that even if you leave the beach, it never leaves you. Bienvenidos a la vida más fina.
The FAU MBA Sport Management program really stood out to me because it was in South Florida, it was in an area that I knew, but not only that, it was top in the world, top in the nation, and it was in an area that is really very rich in sports, between professional sports, tournaments, just everything. There's professional athletes that live here, there's really all facets. It was an easy decision for me to make that call to go to FAU because I could get that mix of executive education and that focus in professional sports.
Inside the Owls Burrow is brought to you by Baptist Health, official sports medicine provider of Florida Atlantic Athletics. By Sage Dental, we want to love your smile. And by Shiner Law Group, accident and injury lawyers. You're watching Inside the Owls Burrow, presented by Baptist Health, one of our great corporate partners. Another terrific sponsor is Sage Dental. Here's a little bit more about the company, which has corporate offices right here in Boca Raton.
Sage Dental offers general hygiene specialty services throughout Florida and Georgia. We have about 120 dental practices now. We're all branded Sage Dental, and you can expect when you walk into a Sage Dental practice that you would get the same treatment, the same consistency that you would if you walk into any one of our practices in either Florida or in Georgia. We have complete coverage basically in South Florida, offering general and all specialty services. Yeah, I mean, we were founded 25 years ago by a dentist. We're located in Boca Raton, in the heart of Boca Raton. I live in Boca Raton. Many of our colleagues live in Boca Raton that are here. And we're just, we love this area, and we love the energy and the business community and the sports community. It's just a good place to be.
We're sitting in the Immersion Training Center. So tell me what goes on here.
So this is a really special place, the Immersion Training Center. We're able to bring in dentists, hygienists, specialists, staff members from all of our offices where we can teach new technologies, new different types of procedures, introduce a lot of the AI and technological advancements that we're bringing to our dental practices. So this place gets pretty busy. We built this when we launched this new headquarters about a year ago, and it's quite a special place and really just allows us to show everyone the things that Sage is doing and how we're just advancing dental treatment across Florida and Georgia.
And what for Sage Dental made sense to be in a partnership with Florida Atlantic University?
You know, to be in a partnership with Florida Atlantic University, it was really the first athletic sponsorship that we took on. We're headquartered, our support center is headquartered in Boca Raton, and FAU is located just down the road from our corporate office, from many of our local Boca offices in Delray. It just made sense to interact with the community.
Again, thanks to Sage Dental and all our great sponsors. That's our show for this week. I'm Frank Forte. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week on Inside the Owls Burrow. This has been a presentation of Playfly.
What does it mean to feel welcome? To not only be cared for, but to be cared about, to trust. At Baptist Health, this is the warmer side of care. So welcome to being treated with a human touch, where your best interest is our best interest. Here, we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts close to home. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Do you need a personal injury lawyer? You need a personal injury lawyer?
Owls fans, get electrified with Phil Smith Acura with the innovative styles of the premium all-electric SUV Acura ZDX. Enjoy impressive range, convenient charging, and a dynamic drive. And right now, eligible buyers can get up to $7,500 federal tax credit. Scan the QR code to explore the all-electric ZDX. Owls fans, get electrified with Phil Smith Acura.
At Sage Dental, you'll experience a modern, family-friendly approach to dentistry. From pediatric dentistry and orthodontics to cleanings and oral surgery, we've got the latest technology to provide your family the best dental care all in one place. And for a limited time, get a free new patient exam and x-rays, plus a free ProClean Sonic toothbrush at your first hygiene visit. Book your appointment today at mysagedental.com. Sage Dental. Open up and say awesome.